Hi, I'm Matt here in Michigan.
And I'm Randall here in Texas. This week we're going to be doing a review of Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie. It stars Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik and James Marsden as a hometown cop character, and obviously a blue hedgehog. Basic premise of this movie is that Sonic is trapped here on Earth, or more or less, makes a mistake, gets Dr. Robotnik's attention, and then it's just a chase movie for there on out pretty much.
I enjoyed this movie actually more than I was expecting. Going into this movie with the original reveal of Sonic, and a lot of fans were disappointed that it didn't look like Sonic, which actually caused this film to be delayed so that they actually changed the look of Sonic and stuff. So I was thinking, maybe people might not go see this because of that initial reaction.
So I tried to look at it as a movie by itself and not think, okay, it's a Sonic film. And from that perspective, like, as a movie, and a kid's movie at that, it is definitely a kid's movie, I felt it was okay. I was a little disappointed that it seemed like it didn't know what its audience was. It's a kid's movie, but most kids probably don't have very nostalgic feelings for Sonic, so people our age are probably much more likely to go see this than kids are. And so the kids in my theater, they didn't seem to enjoy it that much. And from a movie perspective, I liked it for the most part. As a Sonic movie, I was a little disappointed.
I was kind of comparing it a bit to the Detective Pikachu film, and that one, I had expectations of Pikachu because it had Ryan Reynolds in it. I was thinking it was going to be more closer to like a Deadpool movie as opposed to like a straight up kids movie. Where this one, I'm kind of like, you know what, I think they're going to take a lot more from like that Detective Pikachu and go that route. So I kind of went into this, thinking like, hey, this is going to be a kids movie. But some of the things I would say was the jokes. Some of the jokes just didn't hit for me, and I don't think they were aimed at kids. One in particular, there was a breastfeeding joke in it that was just a complete miss for me. And you're saying
Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird joke to throw in there, shoehorn in there.
yeah, and it was scripted. Sometimes, Jim Carrey, if you've seen other Jim Carrey movies, he just wings it and he like adds jokes in there and they end up in the film. But this almost seemed scripted.
Yeah, and it's good. It's interesting you brought up Detective Pikachu because that's also a movie where when I watched it, I thought, okay, who is the audience for this movie? People who like Pokemon or kids? Which that's it's a Venn diagram, but they're not mutually exclusive is the point. And I just kept thinking for myself this whole time, like, the source material of Sonic. Sonic obviously doesn't take place on Earth, at least not in the traditional sense. And I was like, why are we so afraid of the source material? Make a Sonic film and make it take place in his world. It doesn't have to take place on Earth.
Well, this movie I think is kind of setting up a sequel, and I
Oh,
wonder if
no,
that
Matt.
sequel.
This movie is definitely setting up a sequel.
Well,
there's no, I mean, that's a
we'll
spoiler,
see if it
but
actually
it
gets
is.
made or not. But I would think that if there is a sequel, it would probably take more in that world. It's kind of interesting. Detective Pikachu is like both our worlds. It's like Pokemon living with humans in a world. We're coexisting. Where this one, it's Sonic is an alien and Sonic's world is an alien planet kind of thing.
Yeah, and I couldn't help but get a little bit of a, you know, pop culture reference to the current administration's things going on with illegal aliens entering the United States. Like there was a little bit of that in this film where Sonic is an alien and the US government is chasing him and trying to capture him. I got a little bit of that vibe and I'm like, well, you know what? In a kids movie, it doesn't fit. Kids aren't going to get it and most of the adults probably won't appreciate it. So I thought that was kind of out of place too.
I wasn't really taking too much of the parallel. I was kind of thinking more of like, yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of these like aliens, and everyone's wants like alien power kind of thing. You go like E.T. I mean, we've seen a lot of those. I mean, yeah, you can make those parallels to that, but like I said, kids I don't think are going to make those parallels. Honestly, a lot of things that would be more serious for adults, this movie kind of glosses over, like the characters being labeled terrorists and stuff, and then I don't think that really comes back, except for like a joke with one secondary character in the film. So there's other like more serious like accusations and stuff that they don't really, touch on kind of thing. It's kind of like a throwaway thing.
Yeah, it's like, okay, he shows up, he's a wanted criminal, he's all over the news. This is James Marsden's character for helping the alien, although they're covering it up and calling it a terrorist activity. Um, and he shows up at his wife's sister's house, so sister-in-law, and yeah, there's some explaining to do, but basically they kind of explain it away in a funny way. I thought the whole scene at his sister-in-law's house was actually quite golden. You remember Old Man and the Blue Devil? This is the Blue Devil! I'm like, okay, that's funny. That because his wife would know about that, and it's a way of saying, okay, I can trust you, because a normal human being in that situation is definitely like, no, you're on the news and wanted for terrorism. And then his sister-in-law has never liked him. And he's like, oh, I don't deserve you. And she's like, I could have told you that.
Which I thought was kind of interesting, too. I don't know if there's any reason for the sister-in-law to not like him. He doesn't seem like a not likable character. He's not like a deadbeat character or anything like that. It's kind of like that just kind of put that in there as, like, it's just the joke. That's okay. Just gonna be the thing.
I'm okay with it though. The interaction between the sister-in-law and the whole family, that was the golden section of the film for me. Basically, I loved that interaction. That's when the jokes actually really worked for me.
One thing I wanted to talk about was basically about the dumb humans. You definitely know it's kind of like a kids' film when they make all the human characters out to be really dumb, and that's at least what that's the indication I kind of got from this movie. Everyone is kind of dumb, and the reason the government goes to like Dr. Robotnik is because he's the most he's the most intelligent person, and we have no choice but to go to Dr. Robotnik to figure out this mystery.
Speaking, I didn't like the way the U.S. government shoehorned in with the whole Dr. Robotnik thing, but there's one scene that it just nails home the stupid human part. So you have Neil McDougall in this, and you're like, all right, sweet. That's a good character actor. I recognize him. He starred in Band of Brothers, and he was right there co-starring with Minority Report with Tom Cruise. And in this, he's just there to get a talk down from Jim Carrey, from Dr. Robotnik. And I'm like, that whole scene was just cringy for me. And then you never see him again. I'm like, okay, there's a perfectly good waste of a nice character actor, and throw that away. Could have cut that scene. I wouldn't have cared.
There was another scene, too, that I didn't really care for that was kind of released early, and that was, like, the bag scene when they have Sonic in the bag, and they're basically joking about, like, child abduction kind of thing, and the people in the background just kind of, like, go away. They leave. They don't run for help. And it's kind of like, all right, this is actually a pretty serious thing to be joking about in this film.
The joke there is just like, do you have your kid in the bag? And he goes, no, I don't have my kid in the bag.
It's a kid, but it's not my kid.
Yes, exactly.
None of that is that. Yeah,
that's serious. That's serious a serious
stuff.
Thing. I don't know. So you had said when we opened this up, you had said that you kind of really enjoyed it more than you thought you would. But again, how high were your expectations to begin with? Because mine were not high, and I didn't really like it that much, especially as a Sonic movie. So, hey, take that for what it's worth.
My expectations were not real high in it. My favorite part of this movie, I think, actually is Sonic. I mean, I liked the parts with Sonic. I think he is the most fleshed out character. I mean, it's a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, so it should be Sonic. That's, the biggest character as opposed to the humans. But I actually enjoyed it. I laughed at a lot of the scenes and stuff with Sonic, the whole running with the turtle, and some of the cool, like there's a baseball scene. I won't give that away. Or kind of take from X-Men movies, Days of Future Past, the kind of like running so fast that time like stops, like those stuff. I kind of enjoyed the Sonic scenes.
Some of them. You mentioned the Days of Future Past kind of parallel where he runs so fast time slows down, and I thought, well, this has been done before. I've seen this. This isn't really that interesting to me, but the scene was fun. Like what was happening and how it came about, that was fun. I just thought they spent too much time in super slow-mo mode, but it's fun. So really, all in all, it's an interesting kids movie. It's kind of a disappointing Sonic movie, but that's where we're at with that. If you like this kind of content, make sure to give us a like. We have more film reviews out. You can go check some of those out. If you really like our content, make sure to give us a subscribe. For now, I'm Randall in Texas. See you guys all later.
I'm Matt, Michigan. Have a good day.